Welcome back, family. Welcome to another video. My name is Shamanism, otherwise known as Emily, otherwise known as who knows what. Just call me anything, just don't call me late for dinner. So this video, welcome, first of all, welcome back. Hello, welcome back. If you're not new here, welcome if you're new here. I am Shamanism. I'm an author, a musician, a nature enthusiast, an animal lover, many things, a musician. And today, for Talking Thursday, I thought that we would just have a little chat outside here. Because I realized, one, that I don't nearly bring you guys outside enough, number one. And number two, I just felt like talking to you guys. So the first thing I want to say is that it's a great thank you to my friend YOUUU, who, without whom this video would seriously not exist, which is a funny thing for me to be saying so frequently. However, true. I was feeling stumped for what to talk about, and I was watching her. I came across her video again, because of course I'm subscribed because she's my friend. At any rate, the point of that is that what she was talking about in this video, which I absolutely loved, I have to say, just again, that speaks to my soul, was essentially talking about the fact that she didn't have the perfect setup, and you know, there's a lot of, do I call it hype? I don't know. There's a lot of whatever hullabaloo about, like, if you have a YouTube channel, you have to do this thing and that thing, and your thumbnails have to look this way, and you have to talk about these things in this specific way, in this order, and blah, 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 blah. Now, I am here to tell you, or to, if you haven't heard this for the first time, I'm here to tell you, and if you have heard this, I'm here to remind you that if you have, one of the things she talked about was that she's, in herself, she's always had it in her that she wanted to be a YouTuber. And to be honest with you, that has always been in me as well. I used to watch people and think, wouldn't it be amazing if that could be my life? Or wouldn't it be fun if I could travel the world and connect to people that I love and that share the same interests as me? And like, what used to really appeal to me, for more specifics, was like the nomadic lifestyle, was these, like, a lot of these raw food bloggers that would travel and were living nomadically. And I was super inspired by that. So to come back to what YOUUU was saying, what she was basically saying, sort of, was that she had decided to make the video regardless of the fact that she didn't have the right setup and, you know, didn't have a tripod, which, by the way, fun fact, I'm not going to flip the camera and show you, but for those of you out there who think you need to have a setup in order to come onto YouTube or to come onto anywhere and share your voice, you don't. You can just use rocks or a stick. In my case, you're literally basically sitting on, I'm in a graveyard, as creepy as that kind of sounds, but it's right near my house, and it's a very peaceful one, and it's very nice, and you know, I have a spot where behind me there's nothing, anyway, besides nature. Anyway, what she was talking about is just basically don't let yourself, like, don't stop yourself, honestly, from anything that you want to do in life, really. Was the really overreaching theme, but our point was, listen, you don't need to have X, Y, and Z in order to come onto YouTube and share your voice. If you feel like that's something that you want to do, I am 100,000,000% here to tell you that you should absolutely do it, because for me, admittedly, like, there was a point where I thought to myself, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Is YouTube for me? Maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's just not for me. Maybe I just don't have it. Whatever that it is, I don't have it. I'm too weird, I'm too much, I'm not enough of, whatever, it doesn't matter, guys. The point is, my mind was just blah, 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 about all of it. And what I would like to encourage you to do is, although I, of course, am human, and I still have days where, honestly, still have plenty of days, where I question whether I'm reaching anyone, and if it's worth it, if my messages are being heard by anyone, if there's even a point to making videos. And you know what, I'll tell you this much, that the reason, ultimately, like I said, that I'm here making this video is thanks, seriously, to YOUUU, because watching her reminded me that this is the whole thing, guys. If you resonate with me, then chances are high that you resonate with people like this, who are trying to change the world, who are trying to co-create a better world, in terms of better meaning more peaceful, more happy, people are calmer and less angry. You know, we have spent a lot of time in our lives not allowing ourselves to just be. And particularly something that she touched on, oh my god, this breeze, guys, I wish you guys had breeze-o-vision. Breeze-o-vision? What? I was thinking smell-o-vision, right? but it's not. I wish you guys could feel this nice gentle breeze, because it is like the most perfect. I wish I could teleport you guys to sit with me, because we could just have this nice mellow time, because it's the perfect temperature. I'm sat behind, well, a gravestone, but it's blocking the sun so that I have the sunlight, and I'm in the shade. It's the perfect temperature. There's just a little breeze every now and again. It's so, that's why I wanted to make the video here, because it's so soothingly calm. Like, just breathe with me for a second, because admittedly we don't do that enough, and I'm out here and like, let's just take a minute and absorb, you know, you guys can absorb this environment with me for just a second, and we'll just take a few deep breaths. Just sit there and be for a minute. Just let yourself be for a minute. Let's just all do that together for a second. I really do wish you guys could feel this breeze. I don't know if you guys can hear I'm not sure if they're crickets or cicadas, but there's just the slightest humming of them, and although I can hear the highway and things like that, it's just it's such a calm, albeit strange, day to day. Today's been weird. Like, my family and I, we went to the store, and what we were looking for wasn't there, and like wasn't in any stores today. And then people on the road were driving really poorly, and we were like, for example, a lady turned into us. We were driving on the main road, and she turned into us from a side road, and like legitimately, first of all, didn't even look in the direction that she was turning, like into the main traffic. She didn't even look. And then she was just like, la 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 la. I'm just saying, y'all, sometimes awareness is an interesting thing, because I think, is anybody alive out there? Anyway, it was a weird day in terms of that. The energetics are kind of weird. I don't know. I'm not into I'm into astrology. I love astrology, but I don't know really anything about it. So I don't know if there's some astrological stuff that is going on right now, but at any rate, it's been a little weird this morning. Anyhow, the main point of the video I just wanted to share with you guys is that if you feel the calling inside of yourself to share your voice, to share something, whether it's nutrition information, whether it's about physically moving your body, whether it's about yoga, whether it's about meditation, whether it's an instrument you like, heck, whatever it is. If you feel like you want to speak out on social media, on YouTube specifically, we're talking about here today, you should absolutely do it. Because although it has its moments where you question yourself like crazy, like particularly, for example, when people maybe weigh in their opinion or whatever, and you might find that really hard to take. It's funny, because the minute people are behind a keyboard, they lose all fear of like, I don't know if this will make more sense to you. I think it will, than what I was going to say, which is just basically what I like to live by, the guideline, and apparently this doesn't apply to all people, but the guideline I live by when I engage with people is basically, if you wouldn't let your grandmother hear you say it, don't say it. And so sometimes I'm just shocked at the things that come out of people's mouths. Anyway, I kind of forgot where I was going with that, but anyway, it was a strange day. And I just wanted to say that if you have the urge to say something on YouTube, like if you feel called to be somebody who's a new way shower, who has an opinion that needs to be heard, whatever reasons, I really urge you to share that. Because although we'll be cutting that out, but I told you were on a stick. The wind blew a little too hard and down y'all went. I don't know what I was saying. That completely threw me off. Shoot. The point of this, though, was to say do it, because if you feel like you should do it, you really should. Because there's a lot of us out here who have kind of been sitting on the sidelines for too long in our lives or in life, and if we would like to co-create this new, more peaceful world where people are able to do what it is that they're passionate about rather than go to a 9-to-5 job, they have the freedom to see their loved ones when they want to, and to travel when they want to, where they want to, etc. You know, that's the kind of world I want to see. And my particular niches, right, are music and somewhat spirituality. And those are kind of the things that I know and I'm passionate about. I love animals and nature. You know, I'm not necessarily the most knowledgeable about them. And I love gardening. You guys will know that if you've been here for a while. So I just, well, number one, wanted to share a big thank you to Malu for being, yet again, the inspiration for this video, which I very much doubt she intended. And yet, I thank you, because without you, I would have been stumped for what to talk about. And you inspired me so much because, guys, I know it sounds silly. The thing was just, sorry if you heard that, that was my stomach being like, feed me. so many people are too afraid to be themselves, and the most magical thing that I've recently been experiencing is just allowing myself to exist, to take, this was something I'm pretty sure she touched on, but to allow yourselves, herself, myself, to take up space, because I don't know about y'all, but I haven't allowed myself to really take up much space. And strangely, interestingly also, largely my experience growing up was also that I wasn't really taken in, I guess you could say, considered to some extent. I don't really know how to put words to it, but I was just kind of overlooked a lot, which, because it's not like I was neglected, don't get it wrong. I was not neglected as a child or anything, but in a way I almost felt like it, like emotionally neglected. But anyway, and so because of that, the reason I'm talking about that is because that made me feel like I had nothing to say. And that is why, honestly, it took me so long to even step into the YouTube like world pool. And something that I've heard Aaron Doughty talk about, and I don't know if you guys have heard him talk about this, is rather than, this is a more recent thing he was talking about, which I really loved. He was like talking about how sort of manifesting is like manipulating. And he was talking about the literal Latin origins of the word, the fact that mani, which is a Latin word, means hands, and that it's manipulative. And like it is. I'm starting to think that I agree with him very much, because it does feel manipulative. And the one thing that I want to urge you guys to do for yourselves, for others, for everything, is to just allow things, allow yourself to be, allow others to be, and just instead of engaging so much and maybe taking their words to heart too much, or letting what they think, like letting your fear of what they might perceive when you talk about whatever, just, I really urge you not to let other people's words stop you from what you want to do. You know that you're here for a mission, something specific, whatever it is for you, and I can't tell you that because you will be the only one who knows. And saying that, I just really, really urge you that if you feel that calling, whatever it is, I don't care if it's your calling is to be a librarian.
Oh, look, I may not be an explorer or an adventurer or a treasure seeker or a gunfighter, Mr. O'Connell, but I am proud of what I am.
And what is that?
I am a librarian.
Your calling is to be a jet engine specialist. I don't even know. I'm just throwing random things out there. Whether your calling is to be a grave digger or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I was just trying to think of something wild. Whatever your passion is. And yeah, no matter how crazy, this I think was another subject she brought up, was no matter how crazy it seems to the outside world, it doesn't matter. You, my beautiful soul, whoever you are watching this, you're here to share something very specific with this world. And one of the biggest struggles that I experienced in my life, even almost up until this point, was just allowing myself to be a human being who is existing and doesn't have to be perfect all the time. Like, it's often hard for me to accept my challenges, I guess you could say. And I do know that everybody has them. But I'm really hard on myself. So what I just wanted to share with you guys was, don't let anybody's vision of you, version of what they think you should do, rule what you feel in your heart you should do. Because for too long, and I really do mean this sincerely, for too long, what's crazy is I really did let almost everyone and anyone's ideas of what they thought I should be doing dictate what I was doing. Like, dictate what I was actually doing. And, you know, to be turning 40 soon, which is the scariest and most insane thing I've acknowledged in my life lately. And realizing that, seriously, I'm only just now embracing myself, and really crazier still to me, allowing myself to, say, take a minute to sit in a graveyard to calmly make a video when I feel like it. Not because are you guys like this at all? I sometimes, and I don't know why I do this, it's still something I'm working on. When something arises that you want to or have to, it actually really doesn't matter for me, weirdly. Something arises that you want to do or that you have to do, and you just have the most insane amount of resistance to it. I don't know. I have a lot of areas in my life where I'm realizing that I just resisted even just myself, like relaxing, and I don't really know why. And I think that's interesting. So I would just invite you to explore your life and your passions. And I can't tell you guys how many times I have heard other people, spiritual teachers, not spiritual teachers, say to follow your heart and your joy. And like, those words flew through the air and they tickled my ears and they may have even tickled my brain. And yet I didn't actually allow myself to be myself, to take 5 minutes out of my day. I don't know. It's like I had this, it always felt like someone kind of, this is a very sort of extreme example, but it always felt like somebody had a gun to my head to do things. Like there was always this pressure as if I had a deadline for everything. And that's something which still persists. And I'm sitting here today in this graveyard. Although my thoughts are somewhat disjointed and have come out in the most bizarre fashion, I don't even honestly know if I made sense. I hope that I did. Let me adjust my own language. I'm working on allowing myself to just be a human being. Like, it's okay that this isn't perfect. It's okay that maybe my thought process wasn't perfectly A to B to C to deliver the thing in this perfect package so that you guys feel just so and you feel compelled to do a thing. I am not the kind of creator who wants to create a community where you guys feel like that. I would like to build a community of people who are allowing themselves to bring their own gifts through, who recognize how special they each, every single one of them is, to understand that no one else can do your job on this earth, and that we all chose to incarnate here because we're a part of this brand new, brimming, exciting, new, calmer, peaceful, loving earth. And I knew when I heard Malu speak that I had to speak out myself. And the reason that I'm gonna upload this, no matter, I might not even edit it, to tell you the truth, just for today, as a declaration to myself and to you guys, not necessarily because I have to you, just as a continual commitment to myself, to be present no matter what state I'm in, so that you all out there have an authentic example of walking your truth. I thought I heard a critter behind me maybe, but I think I was wrong. There's acorns and things falling, so it's not always squirrels, although it sometimes is squirrels falling from the trees. They're fine, by the way. They have some amazing ability to fall from incredible heights and just be fine, which I don't understand. But today I'm just here to urge you guys very much from the innermost workings of my soul to, again, like, I guess this is somewhat YouTube specific, but it's not. It pertains to any urge you have to really share your voice, share your message, your essence, your excitement, your joy, to really just explore that and to dig into allowing yourself to exist. Allow yourself to take moments. There's a really cool looking, I can't tell if it's an ant carrying a spider or a spider carrying an ant. Hello? Neither. It's neither. It's a spider carrying something. Oh, they gave up. Oh. Well, that's a bit sad. But they were carrying something that was probably seriously like, oh, nope, I take it back. They're going back to try again. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I'm like blown away by just nature. And I'm watching this spider is like itty bitty. And he, she, they, they gave up again. I think they're gonna probably figure out how to do whatever it is they're trying to do, but I watched this very small spider carry this very large, I don't know what it was. To me, it looks like a pebble, but let's be real, I don't know what anything is. But something that was like 5 times their size. And I regularly watch ants do that too. And I have no idea how the heck, like, think about if you had to drag your car somewhere. Could you just pick up your car and drag it? I don't know where that spider went, but that was crazy to watch. I'm sorry, y'all, for the squirrel moment there. and also not really sorry. That's incredible. This is the other message I want to leave you guys with today is, number one, if you have any desire to speak out about something online, to speak your heart, to share your soul, whether that's through a particular topic of conversation, whether that's through music, making meditations, whatever it is, I really urge you to just go ahead and do it, and to put aside the potential fears you might have of what people might say or what people might think, whatever, what Sally from high school might think about your videos or your message. I really can't urge you enough to put that aside and pursue what you're passionate about, because I have spent too long doing someone else's version of reality, and I really just want to be there in my life, absorbing life, because there's so much life everywhere, guys. Look at that little example with the spider. Like, if I hadn't sat down today, if I hadn't allowed myself to sit down and to take this space, oh, there's a beautiful little cricket thing over there too. There's like, I don't know what they are, but they're kind of like little grasshoppers that fly for a minute or something, if they can fly. My point is, when you sit down and allow yourself to be, really crazy things happen. And that's not just me saying that. Like, when you allow yourself to experience life, life actually gets to come in and show you things and show up for you and give you gifts. And yeah. And there wasn't the other message, in which now went out of my head. That's a bummer. Oh, I'm gonna have to edit if this pause is too long. Well, anyway, it was basically just to do what you're passionate about and allow yourself to be doing that, whatever that is. And to not be afraid of what anybody thinks, because I have genuinely let people and situations, some of which it's absolutely ridiculous, because like probably the person that said that thing to me that time or whatever, that like it wasn't even something they meant to be kept in my head, and yet my brain just stored it and stashed it, and it became a view I had of the world, which is, to me in this moment, bananas to realize. So allow yourself to be yourself. You are here for a divine reason, and let me really blow your mind. You are literally an expression of the divine, here to express whatever specific thing it is that you are super awesome at. And you are super awesome at something. I can't tell you specifically what that is unless I happen to know you in real life. However, I know that you all are here to do something. And as crazy as it might be to take in, I want you to try and take in this information that you are the divine. You know, there's some famous, I want to say it's a Jesus quote, but I actually don't want to put myself in trouble because I'm not sure if that's accurate. I'll have to Google myself and find out for sure. If you've ever seen, here I go, I'm going to make myself look totally nuts, but hey, if you've ever seen the movie Stigmata, which I don't know, some of you may have, some of you may be like, what the heck, why have you watched that? What it largely is about, anyways, is that there were these sacred secret texts that Jesus, and I guess maybe other saints and or disciples, people of religious significance, I don't know, wrote back in the day, right? And the reason, supposedly, again, I don't know how factual this is, but that they were hidden was because essentially, if they had come to light, what they would have meant is that everyone had their own power. Meaning you had power, I have my own power and sovereignty, and that, I guess, threatened, organized religions. So they buried these texts, and what the text basically said was, and I'm not going to try to butcher the exact quote, but it's something along the lines of, the kingdom of God is inside you, split a piece of wood and I am there, lift a stone and you will find me, or something kind of close to that. If I find the quote, I'll put it in here. And then go ahead. So that's the quote. And that's the bigger message. I think that's the ultimate message. That was the thing that resonated through Malu's video. Just reminded me, you know what? It doesn't matter that you don't have a tripod. It doesn't matter that the lighting's not perfect. It doesn't matter if somebody says you're fat, you're skinny, you're ugly, or whatever. It doesn't freaking matter. What matters is that someone out there needs to hear this, or even if they don't, it's relevant for you to even feel like, if it's your calling, like that's something you want to do, to document your life. You're allowed to do that. The one caution I would say, however, with that is bear in mind, if you do something like that, that again, if you wouldn't want your grandmother to come across it, you probably don't want to put it online, and two, to realize that anything and everything that you put online is potentially there for forever. So again, if your family members or you would be embarrassed for any reason of what you're going to even contemplating put out there, don't. In fact, as a very specific, interesting example, I recently heard someone online who has Asperger's say that they were regretting having shared that publicly. And to tell you the truth, I understood why, because what they shared was that the response, unfortunately, and this made me really sad, because I would like to think that most humans, Tree's giving me gifts, that most humans are a little more forgiving and kind of kind-hearted on a daily basis than that. But what she basically said was that the response largely, unfortunately, from her surrounding environment was not good. You know, that she sort of had the hope, I guess you could say, that people would be willing to accommodate her. And in fact, it was kind of the opposite. Her experience was kind of that people were like, I don't know how to put this nicely, but basically like, well, we don't care. Like, that's your crap. Get it together. That's not our problem to deal with, which is, I think, really sad, especially if it's coming from like family members. Because, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I like to think that my family members and people who care about me and things, you know, would not be so harsh. And to be met with like such intense, just like, well, you're not okay because, you know, I'm afraid I'm going to get hit in the head with an acorn, guys. Sorry if I'm like doing this. Anyway, I just thought that was sad. And I still am an advocate of you being yourself. That was my point here. I sat down here today because I wanted to be the example that it's okay, and not even okay. Something that, again, to wrap it up here, what Malu ended her video with largely was, what would you rather have? Like, let's say you're someone like me who wants to connect to people online and you want to develop a community of loving people, right? It's like, and even just if you're just watching YouTube, to be honest, this used to be me. Would you rather watch someone who has the perfect lights and the perfect setup and the perfect wife and the perfect dog and the perfect house and the perfect everything? Or would you rather be with somebody who's like worrying about if they're going to get whomped in the head with with an acorn because they're sitting here doing this live, sharing authentically themselves? Like, again, I'm here because I know that my being present authentically without editing, largely I think I'm gonna have to stop editing my videos, guys. I enjoy the editing a little bit, to tell you the truth, but I feel like Spirit is telling me to stop because I need to embrace myself fully, and that won't happen unless I allow myself to be uncensored. And that terrifies me, I'll be honest to you guys, with you guys. And yet I know that it's so important for me to be here as a way shower. And as pompous as you might think that sounds, I just know there's a handful of us that know we're here for that reason. We're here to help create, I don't know if you can hear that plane, to create the world that we wish to see, to be and do the Gandhi thing, the Buddha thing, to be healers, to be light workers, to be people who wait out planes. To be the weirdos who sit and hug trees, which was another thing she talked about. And I know I'm like just this and that and the other, and I don't know if I'll cut any of this out. Maybe not, me. So deal with your 27 minutes, ego. Anyway, be yourselves and feel okay and safe knowing that you can be yourselves. People may not always respond to you, just understand that, understand that that's their insecurities with themselves, with allowing themselves, and try your best not to take it personally. Because I can tell you that for me, being here on YouTube has been a blessing in so many ways. And I used to think people saying that were kidding, but they're not, guys. You grow a lot when you see yourself, you're confronted with yourself on camera, when you have to edit your own videos back, when you realize how you might be mistakenly perceived by others. And I don't mean in the uber self-conscious way of like, oh, don't say things, but I mean, you start to be more aware of your words and how they might impact people, and you're cautious of that, more conscious. Anyway, I think it's important that if you feel called to be here, you're here, and have the courage to step out and be that living example. There are so many people out there, guys, final rant, that are willing to pretend that their life is so perfect when it's not. And I think, I don't know about you guys, again, I was trying to ask you guys earlier, would you rather watch someone whose life is perfectly in order? Would you rather watch someone who is like you, doesn't have their life perfectly together, doesn't know if the tree's going to shed acorns onto their head at any moment, life happens and we can't predict it. And life is beautiful, guys. I used to sometimes kind of roll my eyes at people who said that, but it really is. And I've been blessed with like the craziest timing at times. I have seen, and if I can ever find this footage, gosh, I will share it. I watched a grasshopper, guys, walk out of its back legs, shed them for a new one, and grow them back literally in front of my eyeballs. I'm blessed. I'm realizing, and I hope you can realize for yourselves, or that you guys, your guides, whoever, bring you to the realization of how incredible this world can be when you just take a minute for yourself. I used to be so averse to that and think that's so selfish, but it's necessary. It's not selfish. It's necessary for you to nurture yourself by being present. Enjoy the channeled message courtesy of, I don't know, this graveyard? I think a lot of this was channeled today, guys. Honestly, from the universe to you, be yourself. It's okay. You're here to share a specific message or a specific talent, and that is exactly what it is that you're here to express from the divine. And without that, the divine would not be able to experience itself. So as long as you're not doing any harm, know that you are here to express what you are here to express. I hope you guys have enjoyed sitting in nature with me for a time. I will be definitely coming out in nature to do these talking videos more, and the meditations. Oh, exciting news, final closing thing. I got my handpan stand. That's hard to say. Handpan stand. My handpan stand for the ground finally arrived. And so I can, ooh, I'm very dirty. I can now take you guys with me to beautiful outdoor locations like this, and I can play beautiful music for you. So look forward to that coming soon. I'm very excited about that. And yeah, and I hope for those of you, feel free to let me know, by the way, guys, how you find these rambling videos, because I really enjoy them, and I really feel like hopefully I'm connecting to you guys, and we're really creating a community of safe place. That's like, English is not even. But we're creating together this community of like-minded, strong warrior men and women people who will carry this calm strength and presence forward and I don't know, allow humanity to elevate. That sounds so much bigger than me, so that's the sign that it's not coming from me, guys. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed sitting here with me and the nature sounds and the peace and quiet, and I really sincerely hope that if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, have the urge to write a blog, whatever it is, have the urge to play handpan meditations, have the urge to buy an instrument that doesn't even make sense, maybe you haven't even played an instrument, whatever crazy urges, whatever urges you have, they're there for a reason. Follow them. If you're familiar with Hansel and Gretel, they're like the breadcrumbs of your life, and if you start to allow yourself, rather than having resistance, which, trust me, I know, I spent most of my life resisting the things that were trying to come into my life as gifts. Allow them. Life is genuinely trying to give you gifts. And if you allow yourself to just take a minute, because we are a hyperactive freaking society, if you allow yourself to take some peace and quiet and calm in nature, you will find that things start to come to you rather than you having to chase. So have a beautiful rest of your week. Namaste, much love, and thank you so much for being here. If you know anyone who this video would help, please do share it with them. And seriously, if you're not subscribed, which by the way, like 90% of you, I'm not looking at you, but I'm totally looking at you. Like 90% of you are not subscribed. So if you're watching, you might as well help support a small content creator like moi. And if you enjoy these things, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys are feeling. How have you guys been doing? I genuinely care about you. How are you doing? How's your health? How's the weather where you are? Where are you tuning in from? Talk to me, my people. Mwah. I hope you have a beautiful week, and take it to heart what I've said. Know that you are 100% valuable and necessary in this world, and your vibration is a part of, you are a part of Mother Nature, Mama, Pachamama, etc. You are one with me. I am you. You are me. You are this grass. We are this grass. We are the trees behind me. We are each other. And you deserve to have everything that you can imagine, because if you have imagined it, it's already in creation, which means that, here's the fun part and the amazing truth. All you have to do is relax and receive. And trust me, I understand that that can be something that brings up a lot of resistance. Relax and receive. Allow yourself to be given the gifts. Have a beautiful week. Namaste. Much love. See you soon. Bye.